In this video, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to create the perfect lead magnet. We're actually going to use artificial intelligence for one of these to do all the hard work for you. And finally, we're going to talk about different applications of what type of lead magnet you should be deploying, depending on what kind of product you sell in your business. Now, my name is David White from Learn Marketing AI. Lead magnets are a really, really big deal. If you get them right, you'll be able to get a whole bunch of people from your audience with ads or through the content that you create or whatever to subscribe to your email list, which of course is very important because it's easier to turn an email subscriber into a customer than just about anyone else. And secondly, if you get the content just right, you'll be doing like 90% of the work to convert an interested subscriber into someone who is ready to buy from you. So let's run through these 3 strategies right now. We're going to first and foremost talk about how to reverse engineer a lead magnet. Secondly, we're going to talk about how to get artificial intelligence to write you a really high quality, specific, actionable checklist or toolkit or something like that. And third, we're going to do a little exercise that I learned from a marketing legend many, many moons ago. So I'm going to pull up my screen here. I'm going to share the first strategy with you. And while I'm doing that, be a good chance for you to hit that subscribe button. So let's do it. The first tactic, the first tool that we can use for building a lead magnet is something that is called reverse engineering. And it essentially starts out with this. You begin with whatever your product is, your core product, and then you can pull out, let's say, a segment of that core product that might be a low dollar product. You don't have to necessarily do this, but you're going to pull out one tiny little segment of that low dollar product, and that is going to become your lead magnet. Now, this is really effective for those of you who are coaches or if you sell info products or any of that kind of stuff. And this is what it might look like in practice. So if you have a core product that has a bunch of information in it, for example, my core product is the AI Marketing Hub, which includes a whole ton of different stuff around how you can use artificial intelligence in your marketing. You can look at all these different things that you teach inside that, and you can say, what would be one like really useful, really simple thing that I could pull out and maybe turn into a low dollar product? So for me, a good example would be emails. One part of my AI Marketing Hub is the AI email workshop. And inside of that, I teach a whole bunch of different stuff. Now, if I'm looking at this from the perspective of like, hey, this could be a low dollar product, there's one thing here that jumps out at me is in like, I could teach this. This is very valuable to my audience. I'm not necessarily giving away the entire farm, but there's something here that I could show people that would demonstrate, hey, you know what? I am able to help you get results with your marketing by using artificial intelligence. And that is this little trick that I came up with here, which is this idea of using artificial intelligence to segment your email list into different sort of demographics or psychographics, if you will, and write custom messages for each of those folks really, really quickly. And that I could turn into a lead magnet that would sound something like this. How I used artificial intelligence to increase my email click-through rate by 54.4% or something like that. It's been a while since I actually pulled the math on it, but it's around like 50% that I was able to increase my email click-through rate. So that's the first strategy that you can use, is look at your core product, whatever the thing is that you sell, and think, what's a bit of that I can pull out that's like useful in and of itself? And then what's a little bit of that I could pull out that's useful in and of itself? And the good news is, if you do that, you now have a funnel. You can give people your lead magnet on the thank you page. You can say, thank you for requesting the guide of how to use email segmentation and artificial intelligence. This helped me increase my email click-through rate by 54.4%. If you want the whole thing, go and buy the AI email workshop. It's $97. And then when people buy that, on the next thank you page, of course, you can offer them your core product. So that is the first way that you can create a lead magnet. Now, the second way is a little bit more tactical, and we're going to use artificial intelligence here to do it. So I'm just going to show you me actually doing this process for a fake e-commerce business that I made up when I was teaching one of my other programs called the AI Social Media Workshop. And this is a makeup brand. It's an organic makeup brand called Glop. So just watch me do this prompt. Watch me figure out a really useful, highly specific, very valuable piece of content with the help of AI. So stand by while I share my screen here. All right, here we go. Here's the prompt. So this is basically just me telling Claude in this instance, a whole bunch of information about my business. And then I'm saying to it, hey, I want your help coming up with some ideas for lead magnets. Now, the perfect lead magnet is very specific, it's very actionable, and it can help my audience achieve results in less than 15 minutes. Some examples of incredibly specific, actionable, and results driven lead magnets might be things like checklists, 3-step plans to achieve a very particular objective or outcome, or some kind of routine that my audience could deploy to predictably attain a short-term goal. What are your top 10 ideas for these lead magnets? And I'm just letting artificial intelligence figure this out itself. And it does a pretty damn good job here. So it's got a 5-minute makeup routine for a flawless natural look, the ultimate clean beauty checklist, 7-day skin detox plan, corporate women's guide to mindfulness and stress management. Don't like that. We're a makeup brand. That's part of our business, but that's not our thing in this fake business. 3 steps to determine your skin type and choose the right products. Boom, we're onto a winner here. These are all, generally speaking, pretty good. So I've told Claude my favorites are 1, 5, 8, and 10 because they're related to using my actual products and are quick wins for my audience. Please use this feedback to give me 10 more ideas for a lead magnet. Claude goes ahead and does it. Here we go. We got from desk to dinner, 3 quick makeup looks, a guide featuring 3 easy to achieve makeup looks using Glot products, perfect for transitioning from the office to evening events. Not a bad idea. So I'm going to push Claude here again and say, which one of these do you think speaks to an outcome that is most desirable and hardest to achieve for my audience? And Claude says, highlighting and contouring made easy. Now, personally, I don't know about you, but I don't find highlighting and contouring difficult at all. You can probably tell, but if Claude thinks that's a good idea, maybe that's worth considering. But we've got 2 here. We've got the, what was it? Figuring out your skin type or something like that, lead magnet, and this highlighting and contouring made easy mini guide type thing. So I'm going to get ChatGPT, Claude, I should say, to give me some really good titles for these lead magnets now. So I wanted it to give me 10 titles for the 5-minute glow up contouring thing and 10 titles for the skin type lead magnets. And I'm just going to choose my favorite title from these headlines, which I came up with. 3 simple steps to identify your skin type. And I wanted a bit more about the and part of this title. And I'm going really deep in the trenches here. But this is what I like as the name of a lead magnet. 3 simple steps to identify your skin type and enhance your complexion. This is going to be my lead magnet. I've done literally no work so far. I'm just making Claude do all the thinking for me. And I really do think, knowing literally nothing about makeup, that this is something that women would opt in for if they're interested in the organic makeup space. So importantly, and this is something that I spoke about in a much earlier episode of this YouTube show, if you want Claude or ChatGPT or whatever to write you out long pieces of content, so I want this one to be 600 words, so 150 words for the intro, and then 150 words for step 1, 150 words for step 2, 150 words for step 3. Just tell it, here's how I want you to break down the word count, and then get it to do it in small segments. So you're going to write intro and step 1 for me. That's going to be 300 words. Claude's gone ahead and done it. This is okay. It's not amazing. I've gotten it to do step 2 and step 3. And just because I was curious as well, it spoke here about non-comedogenic products. I have no idea what that is. I don't know why I asked out of Claude here, but that is a really simple way to get artificial intelligence to write out a lead magnet for you. That whole process probably took me 90 seconds. I'd probably need to spend another like 3 or 4 minutes making sure that everything that is said there makes sense, making sure that it doesn't sound too robotic. Maybe spend $10, send it to a designer on Fiverr or Upwork or something of that nature and make it look pretty, because of course this is an organic makeup brand and things need to look nice, but there's a really simple way of doing it. So that is just going to ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or whatever you want and saying, hey, the perfect lead magnet, and I'll read out this prompt to you. I'll put it in the description of this show as well. The perfect lead magnet is incredibly specific, actionable, and can help my audience achieve results in less than 15 minutes. Some examples of this include things like checklists, 3-step plans to achieve a very particular objective or outcome, or some kind of routine that my audience can deploy to predictably attain a short-term goal. So if you plug that into the AI alongside a description of your business and who you're trying to serve and what transformation you can help them get and what your values are, and those sorts of things, you're going to get a pretty good lead magnet. Now, the third type of lead magnet, or the third process that you can use for creating a lead magnet, this is something that I learned from Andy Jenkins, the late, great Andy Jenkins, such a great guy. Wish he was still around today. This is a little exercise that he called the high school best friend exercise, or I think it was the high school sweetheart exercise or something like that. Can't remember, but this one's on my mind because I'm going to use this with a new client who's starting with me tomorrow, I think, who is in the sort of services, and he helps people with money to like do a good job with their money and not pay too much in tax and like, invest well and all those sorts of things. I'm going to be deliberately vague about that. So if you have a kind of services business, or if you're an agency or something like that, this is a tool that might help you. The high school best friend exercise. So for the client who I'm going to be working with tomorrow, his audience is, of course, people who've made a ton of money but aren't really that good at like managing or growing their money. And the high school sweetheart or the high school best friend exercise sounds like this. This is exactly what I'm going to say to this guy. Imagine you're sitting at your desk one day, tapping away at work, and the phone rings and you look at it and it's this number you don't recognize. And you're like, hello. And there's a voice on the other end that kind of sounds a little bit familiar to you. And it's your best friend from high school, whoever that was, or maybe your high school girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. And you're like, oh my God, so good to hear from you. You get to chatting and you catch up a couple minutes, and then you get to the point where you're like, dude, what can I do for you? And this person says, well, I've just come into a ton of money, or I've just launched a new business and I'm looking for help with my SEO or whatever it is that you do. And so I was doing a little bit of Googling, or I was poking around on the YouTubes, and guess who popped up? My old high school friend, you. And I don't want to, like call you up and ask for unsolicited advice or coaching or anything like that. But I was just wondering, I've started this new business and I need help with my SEO, or I've come into a ton of money and I don't know how to manage it, or whatever it is. Like, do you have any pointers for me about how I can get started? I just thought you'd be the best person to reach out to. And so you look at your watch and you're like, I got a meeting in 5 minutes. All right, I tell you what, let me help you out. Go and do these 3 things and you'll be just fine. Now, whatever you would tell your best friend, or whatever you would tell your high school sweetheart, or whatever, in that instance, that's probably a really, really good lead magnet for you to create and send out to your audience and encourage them to get onto your email list. Now, of course, you're going to need a really good headline or a really good name for that particular thing, so people actually want to go and do it. But if you can think of like 3 things that you would tell anyone who you cared about to get some kind of good results with whatever it is that you help your customers with in your business, that is going to be a good lead magnet. So there are 3 big ideas about how you can go about creating the perfect lead magnet. Hope you found that useful. As always, click that subscribe button over here. More content from the channel up here, and I'll see you in the next video.